Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, as you can tell, Sonja has arrived to the Vietnam server on Raid-Up Recruitment. It is a time to take a look at her full skill set and see just how good she's actually going to be. Okay, so let's lead it off with her ultimate, Tempest Thrust. She's going to begin with 0 initial energy. Sonja delivers 8 piercing strikes on enemies in a designated frontal area, 3 tile wide and 3 tile long, each dealing attack multiplier up to 50%, and then ultimate power will give a bonus 4 per ultimate power you have. Each strike also deals extra damage equal to 4% of the enemy's current HP, up to 160% of Sonja's own attack, and then charges to the far end of the struck area, dealing a final blow damage to all enemies within it of 220 up to another 100 from the 5 skill power. While casting this skill, Sonja is immune to all control effects, and I'm assuming that's the whole cast duration, even while delivering the piercing strikes and when doing the final blow. Okay, this is a pretty crazy ultimate ability, hitting potentially all of the enemy team if they're grouped up enough. And all the damage is high. They're basically 2 forms of damage. One is going to be the basic attack, like multiplier 50 plus another 20 with 5 ultimate power per strike. But then the strike will also deal extra damage equal to 4% of the enemy's current HP. It will hit them harder the more health they have, and it can be up to 160% of Sonja's own attack. Now, this is not going to be, for example, like true damage or HP per second damage. So even though it is based on the HP of the enemy, it is going to be damage. So it is going to be reduced by defenses, for example, of an endless boss, but it still would be up to 160% of Sonja's attack multiplier for each one of those strikes. Okay, this is pretty crazy. Let's move on to the next ability, but basically this is going to be good for PvP for sure, and also it has some use for Dream Realm because of the current health damage on each one of the strikes, but it is going to be damage dealt, so it is going to be reduced by defenses. But let's move on. Okay, Crimson Covenant. When a battle starts, Sonja forms Crimson Covenant with 2 allies placed to her left and right, prioritizing those in front over those in the back, increasing their attack by 10, and this goes up to 16%, plus an additional 1% per skill power, so up to a potential 21% attack right from the beginning of the match with maximum skill power, and increasing their physical and magical defenses by up to 21% plus a 1.5 skill power multiplier, so that is up to 28.5% physical and magical defense from the beginning of the match. While Crimson Contract is active, the 2 allies gain an extra 3%, okay, and this is going to go up to an extra 4% attack every 6 seconds, okay, and for physical and magical defenses, it's going to be 5, stacking up to 6 times. Sonja is immune to all control effects while casting this skill, and this is at the beginning of the battle. Crimson Covenant is terminated if either of the buffed allies is defeated. In this case, Sonja absorbs the accumulated stat bonuses from both allies, gaining them for herself until the battle ends. Okay, this is really crazy. So look at this, right? So with the 5 skill power, this is going to be a 21% attack buff to 2 allies, like positioned to her right and left, prioritizing those in front of her. Assuming you don't have any skill power, then you're going to get 4% attack every 6 seconds. And that is going to stack up to 6 times. So over 36 seconds, because 6 times 6 is 36, you're going to stack up to 4 times 6, which is 24% attack onto these allies. And with skill power, it would be from 4 up to 5.5 for every, and it will stack 6 times, which is going to be 33% attack on top of the already base, which is going to be 21% attack with the 5 skill power. So in total, you can get 21 plus 33 attack percent onto your allies, and that is 54% attack. That is a huge buff. No one has a buff like that, and like honestly, just from this level of buffing, I think she's going to be useful in Dream Realm. Like, she is a PvP hero, no doubt about it, but this ability is crazy. This ability is going to make her, honestly, in my opinion, useful in Dream Realm as an attack buffer for the team. Also, we've already seen Tempest Thrust. It has current health damage, so her multipliers for Even endless bosses is not going to be bad. However, it is going to be reduced by the defense of the boss. So like her damage is not going to be anything amazing, but she will have some decent damage output. Okay. She's looking crazy. She's looking like the best S level of this season. Hands down. Already just off this first two abilities. Stunning Reception, 12-second cooldown. Crimson Covenant, of course, is a one-time cast. Now, keep in mind that it is, as of right now, that when the buffed allies are defeated, then she will absorb the accumulated stab bonuses, and you don't want that. You want your allies to be maintaining that attack buff, for example, in Dream Realm. The defenses also are great, but that's like a PvP oriented thing. For Dream Realm, the defenses will not really make much of a difference, but for PvP, those defenses are going to come into play. Okay, Stunning Reception, 12-second cooldown. Sonja spins, slashing enemies within one tile twice with her cloak. Each slash deals 120%, and with skill power, it is going to be up to 170% damage and stuns enemies hit for 1 up to 1.5 seconds with the skill power. And on level 4, it will go up to 2 seconds with the skill power, and the multiplier will be 190% with the 5 skill power. And this multiplier will be hit twice onto all enemies within a 1 tile, like I guess circle around her. And stun. So this will stun basically enemy heroes in melee range. Okay, interesting. I mean, nothing too game-changing here. Like a stun is nice, but it's only within melee range, and so it will not be able to hit that many enemy heroes. Hero focus ability will go up to Sonja increases her haste by 12 during battle, and she gains an extra 12 haste after casting Tempest Thrust for the first time. So she just has to cast this ultimate ability one time, and then she's going to be gaining up to 24 haste. And that is good. However, haste is going to be basically 24% faster attack speed, and also 24% faster skill casting. But the only skill she has here with the cooldown is her Stunning Reception. This will go down in cooldown thanks to the haste. However, anyway, like for Dream Realm, this is not going to be too game changing, and because you're only going to hit one enemy, the boss, and you can't obviously stun him. And then for PvP, it could be, yeah, I mean for PvP it is going to be pretty important, that haste boost. Okay, Unbreakable Bond, there we go. Now we have her Mythic Plus ability. Sonja gains 100 extra initial energy. She permanently enhances Crimson Covenant after casting her first Tempest Thrust, so after her first ultimate cast. And 100 extra initial energy means she only needs 900 energy to charge up to cast her first ultimate, instead of only gaining stat bonuses when a buffed ally is defeated. She continuously benefits from the accumulated stat bonuses while the buffed allies are alive. This is huge. So now basically her and her two allies are all gaining the Crimson Covenant buff amount, which are the attack buffs and the defense buffs, and that are triggering and adding up every 6 seconds as well. And with upgrades of her exclusive equipment, her initial energy goes up to 200 to be able to cast her Tempest Thrust more quickly, and level 3 reduces damage taken by 40% for a Covenant member if any other member is alive. 50% of the reduced damage is shared by other members, but this will not cause them to be defeated. Okay, this is really interesting. Now, basically, reduces damage taken by 40% for a Covenant member. This is, again, going to be a PvP application, but this is strong. It's like it's like a damage reduction like the Sword and Soul pack, but it will be for both Covenant members. And is it all three? Is her herself also considered a Covenant member? I'm not sure about that, but let's say only the two allies are. Either way, they're going to take 40% reduced damage, and 50% of this damage amount is going to be shared by the other members, which I'm assuming is going to be all three of them. And it will not cause them to be defeated. So, for example, if it would normally have killed one of them, it will not cause them, like the sharing of damage will not be able to kill them, but it can probably take them down to 1% health, basically. So this is really good. Like, this reduced damage is really good for PvP and on the Covenant members, and also the sharing of damage is good, like, and especially if you have a healer to like evenly heal across your team, like even a Damien, Haywin, then you want this sharing of damage, basically protecting your front line. And she has a crazy buff onto them. Now the thing is, she continuously benefits from the accumulated stab bonuses while the buffed allies are alive. Now the problem is, from this wording, it still sounds like when they die, she will absorb the buffs back for herself. I don't know, because if she's going to be continuously gaining the benefits here, now what happens, like, for example, like, I'm thinking for Dream Realm, like, let's say you have Harak on one side, and you have Mikola on the other side. Like, you wouldn't have Mikola, but let's say Smokey and Harak on one side. What will happen when Harak devours the Smokey after you have her Mythic Plus? Will she and Harak still maintain those stat buffs, or will it be like what is written here in Crimson Covenant, that it is terminated if either of the buffed allies is defeated? So for example, when Smokey gets devoured by Harak, then it is terminated, and then Sonja absorbs accumulated stat bonuses from both allies, gaining them for herself until the battle ends. Is that what is going to happen? And then she becomes super buffed up. Either way, like, the amount of attack that she's going to gain by absorbing these buffs, like, also, that's the other thing. Like, let's say you get these guys up to 50% attack on both of them, and then one of them dies, and she absorbs both of those buffs. She's going to get up to 100% bonus attack. Is she absorbing just the 50% onto herself? Or is it they're going to be additive? And then, so whatever it is going to be, there's no doubt about it, she is going to be one of the best buffers in the game. Up to 50+% attack buff with 5 skill power from a Crimson Covenant alone. And, like, I mean, even if, for example, it gets terminated after one of the allies gets defeated, you're just going to then position your team in a way that, like, the ally who is Crimson Covenant does not get defeated throughout the whole match, for Dream Realm, for example. And Enhanced Force. Sonja converts 20% of the damage dealt by Tempest thrust into self-healing. 20% of the damage dealt by Tempest thrust into self-healing. So she has sustain, basically, which is great for her. For PvP, for Dream Realm, it's not that useful. Okay, now, and she's a physical damager. She's a warrior of the Lightbearer class with the range of 1 melee hero. So looking at all of this, I am anticipating she is going to be a meta buffer for Dream Realm. She is going to be in a... I think she's even going to be in endless teams for right now. And she is also going to be crazy in PvP. And now, for her Supreme Plus is not necessarily important. Like, if you're going to be using her as a buffer for Dream Realm, for example, she will get her job done. Honestly, like, I mean, Mythic Plus is really the big breakpoint for her, to be able to cast her ultimate quicker and also gain the stat boost for herself. But I think you could even try running her in at one copy with the Crimson Covenant, still providing that attack buff to her allies. Yeah, and I think you could have, like, Sonja get devoured, for example, and that wouldn't be an issue to you, because that doesn't seem to change anything of the Crimson Covenant. Like, it should still continue to buff up your allies. So she's crazy. Sonja is a crazy hero. She's the best S level hero for the season, hands down, no question about it. So if you can only go for one, like, let's say you went for Tassi and you're not able to recoup for Sonja right now, I'm really thinking that she's going to be a priority swap ticket from Tassi onto Sonja. But I think the two big S level heroes for this season are Tassi and Sonja. But I think Sonja is going to be better than Tassi by quite a bit. This is pretty crazy. She's a very good hero. So, yeah, you guys can let me know what you think about Sonja in the comment section down below. But I'm thinking that she's going to be pretty broken. She's going to be crazy. Yeah, and I have saved up some of my diamonds. I was thinking, okay, she might be an important hero to recruit for. And I think, yeah, I think not only for S levels, I'm suspecting that over this whole season, she is going to be the most important hero released. It seems that way. But we'll have to wait and see for Bonnie and Hugin as well. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That's going to be it for this video. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now. And thank you for watching.